I really lean on co-writers on occasion and just guest musicians to liven things up and help kind of see my vision through. I think for me, at least with the FETID Zombie stuff that I'm working on, the main thing for me is the core of it is death metal, and the Epicidia album. The core of it is death metal, but I've always had a fondness for traditional heavy metal and like the hard rock stuff with the shred guitars.
Yeah.
So I get all these guitar shredders to do some really like cool melodic moments, so that the music isn't just death metal. You know, I
Right.
want to bring something kind of vibrant to it on occasion, but that's kind of where I'm at with the project now. But for me, it's more convenient to just go solo. It works better for my lifestyle and the demands of my time. So it's just kind of for fun, you know, just enjoying the creative process, the songwriting process. And I've always been a proponent of don't let your creativity just sit on the shelf. So if you're making music or art, and why not publish it, you know?
Right.
It should be available for others to enjoy too.
Yeah.
You know, even though you're essentially kind of doing it for yourself, you know, it's always a selfish. Every act is selfish, but it's for the self. But if you can put it out there and give other people access to it, so that they can find joy and pleasure in it too, then why not? You know, what's the harm in it? And not everybody's gonna like it, and that's fine. You know,
Right.
Everybody's got taste and preference. So I hopefully that answers your question.
Well, I think it's one of those things that like you mentioned, just getting it out there. I think it's one of those things. It's like, if it's not given to the world, does it really exist? You know, if it's just yours and yours alone, you know, like you said, you know, give the opportunity for people to enjoy it or hate it or whatever.
But Cave of Forgotten Dreams to mind when you guys are talking about that. Did you ever see that with from Werner Herzog? It's about like that.
You told me about this.
Cave in France that they found like maybe 30 years ago at this point.
Okay.
And it's got just ancient artwork in there that would be basically of a time period be like before like any early like Homo sapien, really. Then it'd be more like potentially the kind of like animalistic qualities that are being drawn on the wall.
Okay.
That these could have been some sort of, because of that time period. It's like, how would these creatures have drawn that? And if this is totally off subject, I think it's almost not, because it's like that wasn't brought to life of any value until somebody did see it, and then they made a movie about it, and they were all going, "Wow!" I mean, we're talking about it on a podcast, but
that's what makes us really very unique as
humans. Well, you said that earlier, you know, and I thought that's interesting.
The ability to appreciate, to not only create but appreciate art.
Yeah.
And when you think about, you know, it's easy to take it for granted. When you look, if you go to airport, for example, the signage, it's art. It's all about visual communication,
right?
And typography, graphic design, architecture.
Yeah.
You know, understanding space, the space around you, and how to make things fit properly in a space. That graphic design and art plays such an important role in our lives that we don't even notice it sometimes.
Yeah,
you know, like a traffic signal, traffic sign, the way your car looks, and it's all subjective in terms of you know, our preferences and what we enjoy, but it's all around us and there's no denying it. It's part of what makes us uniquely human.
Well, yeah, it's like, it's very much the Cave of Forgotten Dreams, because it's like, well, because in there it's like, what drew this?
Yeah.
Like, what made this? And then you're trying to reverse engineer, like, we even knew these species of whatevers existed at this time period, and that couldn't be the case because this is too high. And then it's even more, it's weird that some of it is then like 5,000 years difference.
Okay.
I mean, 5,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that's, yes. So it's like, because what then picked up the pen and continued it?
Yeah, right.
And why? And then how did it get stuck? And that's
that
all
out.
like very normal of like a long lost art kind of concept, but it is very much so still in your death metal, because when you look at this book, I mean, this defines visually what death metal is. Now, death metal, this music form that's just nothing but, you know, sound,
right,
is now all of a sudden something.
Yeah.
It's very much kind of what you did say, Mark, about like the humanity aspect of it, defining it. Very definitive. I don't know. That's just crazy. I just wanted to comment on that. That was like